So I want you to stop for a second and think about this year. Think about the past week, the past 3 months, the past 6 months as we enter into the second half of the year. Have you really been prioritizing yourself? Has your energy focused on you or everyone around you? No, I know. Times have been hard. And with the current president in office and these things, these unprecedented times have been, it's just like the new normal. And I don't think we signed up for that. But where did your energy really go? What if I told you that feeling guilty about putting yourself first is actually holding back everyone you love? I know this sounds backwards, but hear me out. I had this moment recently where I realized I was running myself into the ground trying to be everything for everyone else except myself. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you're juggling it all, but somewhere in there you've disappeared. Today, we're talking about why adjusting your priorities isn't selfish, it's essential to your mental health and everything you're trying to build. Whether you're a creative, parent, entrepreneur, or goal setter who's tired of feeling resentful about always putting everyone else first, this episode is for you. We're talking about adjusting your priorities, 5 ways and signs that you are burnt out, and ways to prioritize yourself this year. So sit back, relax, and welcome to Adjusting. Welcome to Adjusting, a safe space for candid conversations about mental health and well being with your host, Justin G. Nelson. Whether you're recovering from trauma, redefining your purpose, managing mental health, or simply craving more authenticity, this show is for you. I hope something resonates with you and helps you on your own personal journey. So sit back, relax, and let's start adjusting. And we are back with another episode of Adjusting Podcast with your host, Justin G. Nelson. Y'all, we have made it to, I guess, mid-season almost. We're approaching 1 year of adjusting, and I really want to stop and really thank everyone for listening, for texting me, for sharing it on social media, for sharing it with your friends. I really appreciate it. I did something the other day that I rarely seldom do when it comes to AI. And I went to Claude AI. This is not sponsored, but I went there and I typed in using my big three. So, like my sun, moon, and rising in astrology, what career path works best for me? Would you know mental health popped up? So I really feel like this is something that I was meant to do, even though I fought it for a while because I didn't like podcasts, but now I appreciate them. Granted, everybody has one. I'm pretty sure someone's dog has a podcast as well, but get it how you live. Share what you need to share. So again, I want to say thank you as we approach 1 year. Before we go any further, I want to stop and thank TJ with TJ podcast Tea with TJ podcast for editing my episodes. Be sure to subscribe to his podcast as well. I think he's launching season 4, if not already. And if you feel led, you can follow me on my other platforms, which are about to grow, which is what really inspired this episode. So if you're into vegan lifestyle or looking to really go into a more plant-based diet and adding those things into your meal plan, you can follow my brand Earthy and Cultured. I'm posting more on Instagram and YouTube for that platform. For Type J Marketing, if you're looking to build a business or a brand, you can follow me there. Or if you want to follow my creative journey as I make my road to Broadway and film and television, you can follow my personal page at Justin G. Nelson. So, with all that in mind, one last thing, please subscribe to my Substack channel. I'm going to make a bigger announcement on my birthday, but since you're listening now, I'm launching a production company, a studio called Pacific Cup, but we'll talk about that later. But Substack will house all of my brands, so be sure to subscribe there, where I am doing the adjusted perspective, launching articles that go in depth for each episode. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because I do have the adjusting affirmations. This month's focus was on creatives. Next month, I don't know. We'll see when I get there. But before we go into the episode about adjusting your priorities, I invite you to join me in a sacred breath. This is where my voice usually slows down so that my heart rate would slow down and we can all be on the same page. So, if you're driving, focus on the road. I've seen too many car crashes and accidents lately, so pause and come back when you are stable. If you are home or in the kitchen or at the gym, like take a second. Relax your ankles, relax your knees, relax your thighs, relax your stomach, relax your chest, your shoulders, your neck, your chin, your cheek, your forehead. Relax your ears, relax your body, and take a deep breath in, 2, 3, and out. 2, 3. One more time. Close your eyes. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. And out. 2, 3. All right. So this episode came from a therapy session I had recently, and it made me stop and realize that I have not been prioritizing myself. My therapist flat out said, you are making sure other people are taken care of and not giving that same time and energy to yourself. You're making sure your clients are being taken care of, your church is being taken care of, your family, but what have you stopped to do for you? And I was just like, bruh, like I know I pay you to tell me the truth, but this was too much. But I thanked them. I said, thank you. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to make these adjustments and to really live this life, because we only get one life, and I want to live this life to the fullest by putting myself first. I also went to an expo hosted by B&H Photography called the Bill Expo. It was free here in New York, and a lot of the influencers, content creators, business owners, management companies were saying, like, you got to be consistent. And I feel that the only way to really be consistent about something you're passionate about, even with this podcast, is to prioritize you. Prioritize you, and everything else has to adjust. It's kind of like a law of nature. I don't read like the real masculine forward self-help books like the Law of Attraction or the Atomic Habit. I did read that just because I was bored during the pandemic, but like everything else, it's too white man focused, and I can't subscribe to that ideology of thinking. Like, nah, bruh, like, no, you are the enemy in a way. However, this episode is about adjusting your priorities. So we're going to start with part 1, addressing your current priorities. So I want you to stop for a second and think about this year. Think about the past week, the past 3 months, the past 6 months as we enter into the second half of the year. Have you really been prioritizing yourself? Has your energy focused on you or everyone around you? No, I know. Times have been hard. And with the current president in office and these things, these unprecedented times it's just like the new normal. And I don't think we signed up for that. But where did your energy really go? Did it go to surviving? Did it go to thriving? Did it go towards the future you? Or has it just been like a traumatic wheel, like that hamster wheel, the very traumatic wheel? We think our days are balanced. We think, I'm getting up, I'm going to work 9 to 5 for those 9 to 5ers. I come home, I cook, I watch a little TV, and I'm done. But like within that time, what have you done for you? Just stop and think about that. What have you done? What have you done for me lately? Bum, ba-dum, ba, bum. But anyone else ever feel like they're managing everyone else's life but your own? And I know for me, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. A friend of mine talked about this the other day, how we show up for work for another person's vision or company. We don't get the credit for it. We don't get the recognition for it, but they are thriving because of your labor. I mean, that's life most of the times. But the human aspect of us. We need that validation. We need some type of praise and recognition for it. But because we have prioritized survival and the need for money and making sure this other person's vision is being seen because we profit from it, we shift that energy from our priorities to their priorities. This type of like invisible labor that we carry, remembering everyone else's schedules, we're managing everyone else's time and managing family emotions and being the default problem solver, the capable person syndrome. We talked about that a couple of episodes ago. But how we've become experts at everyone else's needs, but we can never remember what we wore yesterday, what we had for lunch. Like we can manage everyone else, but when it comes to managing ourselves, we don't know where to start. I know I'm guilty of this. I can help you put together a 6-figure brand. But baby, I can't even post one video on my Type J marketing page because it's just I'm burnt out. And that's because I have not been prioritizing me. But we're going to get there. We're going to talk about 5 ways. 5 signs that you are not prioritizing yourself. Even that Sunday night feeling when you realize you've done nothing the week before and you have a full week ahead and you're just like, where did the time go? Where did the time go? And then a lot of parents, and like my heart goes out to parents, especially ones, single parents or ones that feel like they had to give up their dream for a child. And they say, I'll get back to that when my child is older. I need to prioritize my kids right now. And I get it. But there has to be some type of balance because you still have a purpose in this life along with your kids. Like there's an adjustment within the purpose where you have to still figure out ways to do what you need to do because they're going to do them. They didn't ask to be brought into this world. That was your decision. And the entrepreneur hustle, convincing yourself that self-care is a luxury, but you can't afford it right now. I mean, and I know we talked about self-care and how glamorous we've made it with like manicure and pedicure, but like some of y'all need a manicure and pedicure. Let's be honest. Your feet, rough. But here are 5 signs your priorities are all wrong. I'm going to hold your hand through these 5, okay? You ready? Okay. Number 1, you're consistently tired, but you can't sleep. I'm guilty of this. These past 2 weeks, I have been tossing and turning in my bed. And it could have been because of this heat wave we have in New York or just solely because I am burnt out. It has been stressful with my clients, church, my merchandise job, and doing everything else I do. I'm just like, bruh, sleeping has been a blessing lately, okay? Your body is exhausted, but your mind won't shut off because you're carrying everyone else's stress. Okay, number 2, you feel resentful toward people you love. Sorry. When you're giving from an empty tank, even good people start to feel like burdens. Just to my friends, I am sorry that I haven't answered the phone lately. Like, y'all, it's been hard to have decent conversations, and I love y'all, and I really and truly pray that y'all understand that I am just tired. And I never want to have conversations from a place of like dread or stress or just like, I don't even feel like talking. I'll listen, but then I don't want to cheat you of a great conversation. So I just don't answer the phone. And if you text me, I'm going to respond, but I might fall asleep. And I'm sorry. But if you relate to that, that's another sign that your priorities are all wrong. Number 3, you can't remember the last time you did something just for fun. I can't remember the last time. What's the last thing I did for fun? That wasn't fun. Yeah, I think I went to the movies, maybe. I can't remember the movie it was. That's how long it's been. Everything on your list is something for someone else or some type of obligation. Number 4, you feel guilty when you're not being productive. Me. I think it was last week. last Sunday or something, I sat on the couch. I was on a couch potato. Okay, I didn't go to the gym. I just sat there and scrolled on TikTok all day, and I felt like crap. I was like, Justin, you should be working on your website. Justin, you should be looking for more clients. Justin, you should be at the gym. I was just like, but like, I just wanna sit. I just want to do nothing. I just want to do nothing, but I felt bad. And then that Monday, I was just like, you wasted your time. Sunday, you could have been doing something. And number 5, your goals keep getting pushed to someday. I'm guilty of this. It's mainly with my weight loss journey. It's just been like, I'm gonna enjoy this meal today, and I'll get started back next week. Or I was talking to a friend of mine about like Broadway and how it's a big goal of mine. 94.1% of it is not my fault. Like, I can't control casting directors. I can't control the way the industry is. I can't control how capitalism works within that industry. However, the other 5.9% I can control, but 2% of it I can't control. Money, voice lessons, everything it cost. So while I still prioritize the goal of being on Broadway, I still have to survive. Unless one of y'all want to pay my rent for a year, then we can talk about it. But that guilty feeling when you put yourself first, can we talk about it? Can we talk about that shameful, gut wrenching moment you feel when you say, I'm gonna put myself first, and you feel so bad. You feel like, damn, I'm letting people down. They letting you down. Okay. When you want when you want to take a nice sit bath with Epsom salt and a little essential oils and listen to some jazz music and just do that, but instead you're like, I need to clean up. I need to really get this apartment or house back in order. I need to take care of my kids. I need to do X, Y, and Z. We rob ourselves of just those small moments. For parents, their voice that says, good moms don't take breaks. Good dads show up for their kids always. For entrepreneurs, successful people don't rest. There was a video that came out recently where it said, I'm always talking about Beyonce. I love Beyonce. She's my favorite Virgo. But there was a video that said that Beyonce gets up at 10 or 11 a.m. And people just like, she doesn't work all day. She goes to sleep at 3 a.m. That's the part of the video people missed. But it's still a matter of the fact that she has a team of people. She has at least 12 people on her team managing everything for her. Have the mindset of Beyonce, but the work ethic of a regular person. For creatives, real artists suffer for their craft. It always, when I think about that, it comes back to that image of the artist sitting in the window at late at night with the light on, and just like, that man's gonna be someone someday. Yeah, tired. Like, at some point, you got to prioritize rest. Yeah, I know the stories of Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey and Steve Jobs and how they all started somewhere. That was then. This is now. That's all I'm saying. Where did we learn that taking care of yourself was selfish? Who said that? Who said that? If I could, I would have inserted that part from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, who said that? But who said that? Who said that taking care of ourselves was selfish? Show yourself. Let's talk. Meet me outside. How about that? And there's this complex syndrome where we wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. Oh, I'm so tired. I stayed up last night working on this project. Okay, first of all, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You procrastinated. You waited until the last minute to do this. So I have minimum grace for this and you. And then there's this social media guilt where everyone else is posting their highlight reel. Like, I went all these places in the month of June and I did all this in January, February, March, April, May, June. Like, I survived. Okay, I stayed alive. And a part of me had FOMO. I'm just like, I'm not doing enough. I'm doing enough. I'm doing more than enough. Okay, my bills are paid. I'm talking to you all right now. That in itself, I'm prioritizing my survival. Great. The people-pleasing addiction, why saying no feels physically uncomfortable. Because we know people will hold that against you. And I talked about that, the favor banking aspect of manipulation in the last week's episode. And I really want to get him on the podcast to talk more about that. But people be doing it. People are like, well, I did this for you. What you gonna do for me? Bruh, calm down, okay? I don't I don't have it to give at this moment, but also, do you not do anything out the kindness of your heart? Like you will be blessed because you bless me, but yet you looking for me to bless you. You got to look beyond me to get the blessing because I ain't got it right now. Somebody get that later. The inner voice that says everyone else has it harder than you do, so stop complaining. You can complain. Okay, your life is your own. Well, my life is not my own. But anyway, your life is yours. So you know what's hard for you. Again, I do know people, people are homeless and people living on the street. And it could, listen, recently something happened back in Memphis with my mom. And we rooted in Jesus. The hot water heater, it didn't explode, but it started leaking. And I was like, it could have been worse. But God. We found the blessing in it all. And it's not a matter of spiritual bypassing. It's just a matter of knowing where our faith is. And I want to encourage you today, step out on faith. And the comparison trap, looking at others who seem to have it all together. They don't. I said this on Facebook one time. The grass is always greener on the other side, but the house is junky. The house is junky because they're prioritizing their outward appearance with the front yard and their fake Bermuda grass. Baby, their inside look like a thrift store after a 50-cent sale from Costco. Like it is bad on the inside. You're good. So here's what's really happening to your mental health. Your priorities and your mental health are more connected than you think. When it comes to burnout, real burnout is when you wake up already exhausted. When you wake up ready for the next day. Coffee can't fix that. Even after a full night of sleep, 7 to 8 hours if you're into that thing, you're still tired. You're mentally exhausted. It's when things that used to bring you joy feel like a chore or chaos. When you find yourself going through the motions but feeling completely disconnected from your life. It's crying in your car before going to work or on the train, or the dread of Monday morning. For me, I don't work the traditional schedule. It's my dread of meetings. It's like when a client pops up, say, hey, can we meet real quick? No, we cannot. It's never real quick because now you're dumping your responsibilities off on me and expect me to fix it. And I hate having stuff on my plate because it's always weighing in the back of my head. When you're successful on paper, but you feel empty inside, y'all still here? Okay. The difference between physical tired is like fixed with rest, and soul tired requires a life change. Okay. So you can be physically tired, you can take a nap and wake up, I'm feeling refreshed. But when your soul is tired, you got to let go of some of the emotional baggage. You got to, that container we talked about, that plate we talked about. See, my episodes kind of connect. You got to just listen to them all in order sometimes. When you start questioning, is this all there is? Is it all just work and no play? Or what's the point? Wow. It's your inner wisdom recognizing that you're living someone else's version of your life. Kind of tied to intergenerational trauma and some soul work that needs to be done. When everything else comes first, your healing gets pushed to the back burner. You know that feeling when you're giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and then you feel resentful? That's not you being ungrateful. That's you being human. The anxiety that comes from living someone else's life instead of your own, how resentment builds when you consistently abandon yourselves for others, the depression that sneaks in when we lose connection from our own desires and dreams, why therapy doesn't work as well when you're not making space for healing in your daily life. You can go to therapy all you want, you can pay for it, but if you're not doing the work outside of those hours, baby, you just have a glorified best friend with HIPAA. Like, you got to do some type of work. You got to be willing to make some changes in order to profit from the therapy. The physical symptoms is headache, exhaustion, getting sick all the time because your immune system is shot. Your nervous system is just like, we tried. And then everything just goes to shit. How misaligned priorities mess with your sleep and appetite and your ability to enjoy anything. the relationship between self-abandonment and increased anxiety and depression. All these are things and signs that you're not prioritizing you and that your priority has just not been in alignment with your mental health journey. But we're moving on to part 2, where we're talking about adjusting your priorities. Okay. So let's talk about what actually deserves your energy. I think we did an energy audit and we talked about energy banking and those things. So I want to walk through 4 big areas where we need to be honest with ourselves when it comes to our priorities. It's love, it's your career, your finances, and your goals. Family is the thing too, but we're talking about you right now. So love. I found out in therapy I have really, really, really bad anxious attachment. Okay. And it's not something you can just fix. It's something you communicate with whoever your partner is in order to develop a more secure attachment. But if you have like inner child wounds or childhood abandonment issues and things, you're going to deal with this anxious attachment. Are your relationships filling you up or draining the life out of you? And I'm not talking about just romantic. I'm talking about all. I'm talking about friendships, professional, and romantic. The friend who only calls when they need something versus the one who celebrates your wins. Family dynamics that keep you stuck in old patterns. Romantic relationships where you've lost yourself trying to keep the peace. The energy vampires who somehow always have a crisis when you're doing well. Yeah, social media relationships that make you question your worth. All right. And with career, is your work aligned with who you're becoming, or are you just going through the motions because it pays the bills? Yep. Finances. Are your money decisions supporting the life you want, or are you spending them to make other people happy? And with your goals, whose dreams are you actually chasing? Yours or what everyone else thinks you should want to be doing? Great. So I will go more in depth with those on Substack. I got to get y'all over there some way, okay? So I can give you all the gems right now. But here's your permission slip. I need you to hear this. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's strategic. Choosing you isn't hopeless, it's healthy. All right? That whole you can't pour from an empty cup thing, it's true, but let's go deeper, okay? Let's go to the source. So, when you are operating from a full glass or a full tank, you show up better for yourself, which entails bounces off. It's kind of like that energetic outpour. Like when you show up full, everyone else fills up around you. Not because you're pouring into them, but because you are showing them what it looks like to be authentic and you. When you're well rested, you have more time for your kids. You can listen to those make-believe stories. You show up better as a parent. When you're taking care of your own needs, you can listen to your partner without resentment. When you're not burnt out, you bring creativity and innovation to your work instead of just surviving. Okay, maybe you want to put another filter on it because you have time. You make better decisions because you're not operating from depression or exhaustion. Your energy is contagious. When you're genuinely happy, you lift others up instead of draining them. You become someone people can be around instead of someone who needs constant care. Your work quality improves because you're focused and energized and not just checking boxes. The ripple effect, how your self-care gives others permission to do the same. How prioritizing yourself actually makes you more generous, not less. And then when you show up as your full self, you start to break those generational curses and those generational bonds. I really want to do an episode about adjusting your bonds and trouble bonds and generational bonds, but I think that's a little deep, so I don't want to go that far. But here's your new game plan when it comes to things. I want you to think in 3 levels. Number 1, the non-negotiables. These are things that if you do not do them, everything else falls apart. This is your mental health practice, your core relationships, and basic self-care. So daily practice, getting your sleep, eating. This goes back to the balancing your plate episode. making time and setting boundaries. Number two, the important stuff, things that matter but have a little wiggle room, a little flexibility. Most of your work commitments, social plans, and household tasks. And then the third thing is the nice to haves, okay? This is everything else, the stuff that would be cool, but it won't make or break your life. This is the perfect house and saying yes to every invitation. You can say no. They'll be fine. Listen, some people don't want you to come. They just invite you out of necessity and be just like, please don't show up. So don't show up. And then people pleasing who don't actually matter to your life. Fuck them folks. All right. And then boundaries are love letters to yourself. Little sticky notes to say you are worth more than the shit you put up with. You get that one for free. So let's flip the script on boundaries. Saying no to one thing means saying yes to something better. You don't have to justify your boundaries or write a dissertation about why you can't do something. You just can't do it. And that's fine. Your time is the most precious thing you have, so treat it that way. Setting boundaries with family who think they're on your time. So work boundaries. I do this a lot now where I don't check emails after 6 o'clock. You should have got it in before 6, before the end of the day. Because now I'm off. Again, I have other things to do. Social boundaries. Choosing events and people based on your energy and not the obligation. If I needed to be there, I would have. I'm pretty sure my social battery would have checked out and I would have been pissed spending $2.90 to get there, wasting my time, an outfit, and my energy to come back and I'm good. Digital boundaries. I suffer with this. Like, I really need to do more downtime from social media and disconnect more from like TikTok, especially with everything that's going on politically. Like, I need to just take a step back and set some digital downtime. And then financial boundaries, not funding other people's poor choices or expensive expectations. Yeah. So part 3 is applying your new priorities. Let's make this real starting this year. Bit by bit, it don't have to be tomorrow, setting boundaries, cutting people off. It should take time. These things should take time. Okay, so how do we actually do this without turning our whole life upside down? You ready? Let's go. Every morning, I want you to ask yourself, is what I'm about to do serving my healing or holding me back? Is this thing, this very action, serving my future self, or is it holding me to my current reality? Think about it. The energy audit, tracking for a few days what gives you energy versus what takes your energy. It can be on a sticky note, it can be on your notes app, whatever. Just really do an audit of your energy and where it's going. Start small. Practice saying no to one thing every day, even if it's just, no, I don't want to watch this show tonight. No, I don't want to be on social media. No, I don't want to talk to this person. Whatever it is, whatever it looks like. 10-minute rule. Before saying yes to anything, take 10 minutes to think about it. I think Mel Robbins, in her book, she has a 5-minute rule or 5 seconds, something like that. I have to look it up. But create a stop doing list. We have a to-do list. Let's make a stop doing list. Okay? So these are your must-haves. Stop checking your phone first thing in the morning. Stop saying yes immediately when people ask you for your time. Stop scrolling social media when you're feeling down. Stop over-explaining your boundaries or decisions. Stop taking on other people's emotions as your responsibility to fix. Stop comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Stop doing things out of guilt instead of genuine desire to help. Stop putting your own goals last on every single list. And then see how you feel. Okay? So that's your stop doing list. Here are 5 ways to rest and reset and prioritize yourself more. Number 1, the daily non-negotiables. Pick one thing you do for yourself every single day, no matter what. 10 minutes of journaling, a walk. My friend Jeremy has me doing 16,000 steps a day, and I love it. I can go read a book, listen to some music, and I just get that time back. Number 2, the weekly energy audit. We just talked about that. Number 3, the me first morning. You first. Either breakfast, journaling, you can listen to adjusting affirmations. Yeah, all those things. Before you check your phone, before you respond to anyone else's needs, do one thing for yourself. Number 4, the guilt-free no practice. Saying no to one thing every day without explaining to yourself. Now, I'm not saying like everyone listening to this episode deals with the struggle of not saying no. I'm talking about for me. Okay, these are things that I'm working on and implementing from therapy to help me prioritize myself more so I can make more content and I can do more things that bring me joy based off my natal chart. And number 5, the support system inventory, making sure that people you are investing time and energy into are a good support and a good grounding for you and can kind of reciprocate it back. Because if you're pouring and pouring and pouring, who's pouring into you? Okay, great. When people don't like your new boundaries, they're going to push back, okay? Your family might guilt trip you. Your boss might not love that you're not answering your phone calls or emails at 10 p.m. Some friends might get weird when you stop being their free therapist or when you start ghosting them on social media. I'm going to have to turn my read receipts off. And your own brain is going to try to convince you that you're being selfish. That's normal. That's your nervous system. The guilt trips, you've changed. You used to be so helpful. What's wrong with you? People are going to people. Okay, but remember, you're working to prioritize yourself. You're working to adjust your priorities. And these are just a few things that's going to pop up. So be ready. So my prayer and my goal is that the rest of this year, rest of 2025, or wherever you're listening to this, whenever you're listening to this, making this stick long term. Again, I have lost a lot of friends. I've seen a lot of people just give up on themselves because they are just burnt out and they are complacent when making someone else's dream a reality. I don't want that for you. I really want you to leave a legacy. My friend Larry and I talked about this. I want you to leave a legacy so big that people regret not getting to know you more or really being able to be in your space. So do a priority check-in with yourself every month. What's working? What needs to shift? Celebrate the small wins. It doesn't have to be going out to eat or throwing a party or whatever, but did you say no to something that week? That's growth. That's a celebration. Get yourself another coffee or a matcha if you're feeling it. Your priorities will change as you change, and that's okay. That's part of maturing. That's part of growth. Find people who get it. Find people who get it. Find others who respect your boundaries and prioritize mental health. Seasonal priority shifts what you need in different life phases. We talked about the seeding in your garden and how in different seasons, different things are needed. Same with your priorities. Building a support system of people who encourage your growth, not your people pleasing. People that'll hold your hand and say, hey, I'm gonna hold your hand, but you're doing that thing again. And I know deep down in your heart, you've been working to stop this. So stop it. The power of having an accountability partner who calls you out when you're abandoning yourself. I have a few of those, and I'm grateful for you guys. So you'll know it's working when you have more energy, when you feel less resentful, when decision making gets easier because you're clear on your own values. Your mental health starts improving because you're not consistently running on empty. The right opportunities start showing up because you have space for them. You're prioritizing you, and because you are prioritizing you, the things you are prioritizing that was taking up space has now created more space for you to get the things that you deserve because you have put you first. You sleep better because you're not carrying everyone else's problems. You have energy for your own goals and dreams again. People start asking you, what have you been doing differently because you seem happier? You let that shit go, okay? You naturally attract people who respect boundaries because you're modeling them. Your creativity and inspiration return because you're not burnt out. You trust yourself to make decisions that are right for you. The anxiety decreases because you're living authentically instead of performing. Wow. So, are you going to prioritize yourself? Are you going to do the energy audit and start making that no list, or showing up for yourself in different ways and really prioritizing your energy to make sure that you are doing what's best for you? I want you to sleep well at night. Okay. I want your nervous system to be at ease. I want your goals to happen and your family to be healthier, your relationships, your goals, your finances. Like, I want all that for us together in this adjusting community. I want that. Okay. But it'll only happen if you start to prioritize yourself more. So I hope you take something from this episode, because it's a lot, and there's a lot more on Substack. But I really hope and pray that you take something from this episode that will help you shift your priorities for a better you. Your future self deserves this. So until next time, keep adjusting. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you take something away to help you make the adjustments you need. Before you go, please take a quick second to share this with someone you care about. And if you can, please leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. For more information about adjusting or to inquire about being a guest, head over to adjustingpod.com. Until next time.